Kushal, how was your experience working in ABG?
Right, so I think Aditya Birla Group has been like one of the best companies to work with. So I'll just quickly brief you about the entire work profile. So it's called as a management trainee program where we are rotated across 3 different stints for 4 months each, and then after 1 year we are given the final role. So my first stint was with Aditya Birla Capital strategy team, where the major work profile was identifying those like companies where the Aditya Birla Capital NBFC or housing finance company can acquire them. Then the next stint was with group's mergers and acquisition department. So this was basically identifying and doing all the deals of mergers and acquisitions of all the group companies, be it Ultratech Cement, Hindalco, or be it any other Aditya Birla Group company. And the next stint, I was an executive assistant to the chief economist of Aditya Birla Group. Again, this was very unconventional role, not given to a traditional CA. And this role involved assisting the chief economist in his day-to-day tasks. It will be as simple as writing some articles on Live Mint, Economic Times, etc. Or will be assisting him in his minutes of board meetings, whichever he attends, and doing some forecasting of some like variables like cotton, commodities like let's say oil, coal, etc. So that was a very unconventional stint. And after all these 1 year stint experiences, I was given a final role in Aditya Birla Ventures, which is a venture capital arm and where we invest in startups, be it seed, series A and series B. And we invest in fintech, edtech, consumer tech, health tech, SaaS and consumer brands. These are some of the sectors where we invest in. So that's my work profile here, evaluating startups, talking to the founder, getting on an introductory call, understanding what the business model is, and then taking it to the investment committee for their approval. And if we think that this startup is going to boom in the future, then we are going to make this investment in the startup so that we can get a return of let's say 4x, 5x, 3x of our capital which we have invested. And usually the IRR, the internal rate of return, which we look at is around 20 to 25%. That's the typical benchmark which we have before investing in any startup. The best part about this company was that there was a lot of learning exposure in terms of not only getting roles which a CA cannot get, but getting some other different kind of roles which usually a traditional CA would not get.
Bro, your work sounds a lot of fun.
Yeah.
How
absolutely.
come you quit this role, and like what was your thought process when you were thinking about resigning and like focusing on other parts of your work?
Right, I think that's like a very interesting question. So even after having this kind of work profile, which was equally exciting at that point of time, somewhere I thought that at this point of time I can take some sort of risk. So I have had these conversations with multiple people, and it's like I've had these conversations with industry stalwarts as well, who are my mentors during my articleship stage and even after that. And I've also had this conversation with my parents as well. I am 23 right now. I can take some sort of risk at this point of time, and I can afford that because I have nothing to lose and only I can learn. Even if I lose, even if I fail, I won't be like I didn't learn anything from this. It's like I'm learning some or the other thing even after failing. That was the thought process at this point of time. If I let's say get into entrepreneurship right now, that is going to help me in order to start anything from scratch, and the learning curve is exponentially steep when it comes to starting your own venture, which is very, very important. So it's like whenever you're working under someone, you don't get the freedom to let's say think or innovate constantly. You're doing job and then you're getting paid of let's say for example your salary is 15 lakhs, 20 lakhs or 25 lakhs per annum. Any organization where you are working in will ensure that you're doing work worth 50 lakhs or 75 lakhs because that is the only reason why they are hiring you. And I realized it quite quickly that if I start something of my own, I'll be able to firstly make more money, which I'm making in my job right now. And not only about money, secondly it's about the challenges which we are going to face while we start anything of our own, be it right from let's say registering a company, hiring the right set of people, like making that idea execute with the right set of people, and all these challenges which are going to be there in any new venture. Now I can proudly say that I have the freedom of doing anything of my own, and I can literally not take permission of anyone, and I can just step out of my house, step out of my office and do whatever thing I want.